And it says the Hangout is on air live. So
All
we're
right.
live. This is my second live smoke that I'm doing, sharing a pipe virtually with. Whoa! Oh, I've got an echo. I didn't. Hang on. I had the video playing so I could answer questions. So I was hearing myself like 10 seconds later. That wasn't fun. I actually really confused myself just then. But yeah, this is the second live smoke. We decided to go with live smoke because sharing a virtual bowl sounded too weird.
Yes.
But I've got Bearded Bristol with me.
What's up?
How's it going, man?
It's going well. At least you have a football team to speak of this year.
Well, and it is technically 13-10 in overtime. Oklahoma State's by 3. So hopefully, final in overtime. Oklahoma State stopped them. We just lost, and I'm wearing the hat of a loser.
Oddly enough, so am I. Mine says Miller High Life on it.
Oh no, that's a winner if you're a freshman in college.
Right. Oh no, that's Busch Light stuff, man. Busch Light.
Or Natty Light, or Milwaukee's Beast. We always called it Beast instead of Best.
Yeah, you bet. You bet.
So one of the things that you and I connected on through all the tubes of YouTube, whatever it is. It's been a long day. Yeah. I wish I could. I wish I could put my little edits up there during the live smoke. But golly, what was I saying?
Well, we connected kind of on the base.
Yes, one of the ways we connected, thank you, was through the whole sci-fi thing, because we're both, geeks at heart. Even though we look like very manly lumberjacks with our beard.
Right.
Speaking of which, this week's live smoke is brought to you by Shaving is Dumb.
That's awesome.
Yes. It's not a real company, but maybe Bearded Bristol and I will start one.
There you go. I'm all in, man. Hit me up.
Oh my gosh, Steph is on here commenting. Steph, I am not taking my shirt off. It will not be pretty. I promise you. I will lose all of my subscribers. I might go negative.
There's a reason we call you Sasquatch, and it's not because of the hair on your face.
It's not pretty. Hey, Ways of Java is on there. Steph, he said he took his shirt off. So there we go.
Get after it, Greg.
But anyways, we connected through the sci-fi stuff, and we've been wanting to do one of these and talk about sci-fi stuff. And then I'm like, well, wow, it's October. I love horror movies. Hey, are you into horror? And then you rattled off some of my favorites, including the coffee I will be drinking tonight is out of a very special mug here. So,
little Army of Darkness action.
Oh yeah. And then the comment you made was awesome on the last one.
Shop S-Mart.
Yes. That was awesome. And I'm like, I want to take it farther, but there it is.
Yes, sir. That was my show prep last night.
Heck yeah. I didn't have to watch that one again.
You always need excuses to watch it, though. That is one of, as corny early 90s as that is one of the most quotable movies ever.
Mm-hmm. It is. It really is. And it's one of those weird series that, Sam Raimi, he always has quirky things to him. The first one was scary as shit.
Yeah.
And then the second one had a little humor. And then we hit Army of Darkness, and it's just straight up funny as hell, but a little bit scary too.
Well, it is. You have to take it back to the technology of the time.
Yeah.
That was fairly cutting edge stuff with the motion graphics and all that. Multiple versions of Ashe beating up on each other. That was fairly cutting edge. So it was kind of scary just because it was new.
Oh yeah. Well, and what was awesome is even when Army of Darkness came out, the technology, the CGI stuff was better, but he refused to use it. he wanted to stick with that old school stuff, and it was awesome. He did it. It was a phenomenal job. Let's see. We got Cigar Spoken Vets too. He says, unlike y'all, I can only wear my beard as a winter coat. And then Sasquatch Piper too. What's up, man? He says, what's up, guys? Oh, did I lose you?
Yeah. No,
oh, there you are. Okay. Whew. It's like I can't lose.
Out for a second.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, that movie, I have to watch it once a year. I just have to. So I'm like, last night was the perfect time to just chill out with it and just laugh my butt off. And, you know, I mean, just, he throws in some of the strangest phrases at some of the strangest times.
Yeah. Well, and it's, I wonder if the people that are making Game of Thrones are big Sam Raimi and Evil Dead fans, because that one review I did where I was like, wow, it's kind of like Army of Darkness, but with better CGI.
Right.
Some of the stuff that happens in Game of Thrones is like this subtle little hint. Like, I kind of see the Hound, he's one of the main characters, he's a big bearded guy, and as the Ashe character, because there's these random things he says, because everybody else talks like they're in the Middle Ages. And then all of a sudden he'll say something that's real modern, and you're like, wait a minute.
Right.
What?
This is my boomstick.
Yes, exactly. One of the best scenes ever in any movie.
Yes. Too sophisticated for your medieval minds to wrap your arms around, or whatever that line is. It's just like, oh, you got to be kidding me. You know, he's total arrogant fuck through the whole thing, and then at the end he becomes the hero, the White Knight. And,
yep.
just a great juxtaposition for a character.
Now, have you watched any of the series? I think we watched 1.5, but we hadn't watched all of them yet.
Of which series?
Oh, you don't know there's an Ashe versus the Evil Dead series?
Oh, you know, maybe I didn't hear about that. No, I've never.
It's on one of the major, like the HBO Showtime Stars. It's one. It may be Stars. I'm not sure which one. But it's on one of those, and it's just like the movies were. It's just in little snippets. Huh. But it's more. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
What are you smoking?
I got a little Cornell and Deal Professor going on.
Nice. Yeah,
that's one of my go-tos. I always know, you know, if I don't know what I'm going to smoke, this is what I smoke.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Steph, I can't take the shirt off because it's a special one for the horror. It's Freddy, and it says "Follow your dreams." So, you know, we know the relevance of Freddy and dreaming. So,
yeah, well, you're just a nice guy. You want to promote those positive things in people's lives, like, you know,
exactly.
Following.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Sporting the retro Pac-Man shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I actually saw one yesterday that I almost picked up. Of course, they didn't have any in my size because, you know, that happens. But it was Darth Vader, and it says, "Hey, Darth, I like your suit. I bet that cost you an arm and a leg."
That's awesome.
I'm like, why can you not have that in my size? Come on, man.
I bet you if you go on Amazon, you can find it.
Oh, I'm sure. Actually, Walmart.com would hook it up. That's where I found it. Yeah. You want to talk about a horror flick, just go hang out at Walmart.
It's funny that you say that, because a buddy of mine, actually John, the guy that I did the first little smoking with him on the video, he said he was at Walmart and there was a guy that was checking out and probably buying the little small pink bicycle for his daughter. But he looked very rough, and he had a like long, almost like a fishing knife, like the hunting fishing knife things, the fillet knives. But it wasn't in a sheath. It wasn't in his belt. He just had it stuck in his pocket.
Oh.
And he was like, I wanted to get a picture so bad, but I was kind of like, if this guy sees me, he's got an unsheathed knife just sticking out of his pocket, and he's buying a pink mini bike. It may not be a good thing.
I would have had to follow him out to the parking lot and make sure he didn't have like a white conversion van or something.
Yeah, with the windows spray painted.
Free bike rides.
Yeah. And for everybody out there, if you park anywhere like at Walmart or Target, and you see a big conversion van with spray painted windows, don't park next to that van. Go to the other side of the parking lot.
Or better yet, another store. Just go to another store.
A K-bar. I do have a K-bar, but I don't think it's up here. Are you seeing it? Cigar smoking bits? I don't have my K-bar, but I have even better, a gigantic Bowie knife. And yes, it is a Bowie knife, people. It's not a Bowie knife. Bowie was the singer from the 80s. Bowie was the guy at the Alamo.
Now, I got to show you, since we were talking about skeletons, zombies, and whatnot, I picked this up today.
Oh, Walking what?
The Walking Dead.
Dead?
That's Bart's knife.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Done up to look like Negan. We are.
That is hilarious.
Now I got to tell you the backstory on this. The guy that does this lives in Las Vegas, but he came through my little city today to do a signing. He actually grew up here, but he's a comic book artist and inker.
What's his name?
He's Daryl Skelton.
Okay. I was going to say, if it's Rob Hunter, we hang in the same circles.
Yeah, but he's done Marvel comics for like 20 years, X-Men, Star Trek, The Next Generation, Spider-Man.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have an original page hanging in my kitchen or in my dining room that I'll show you sometime. And I had an opportunity to like 10 different pages, and I'm a big Picard fan. You know, I thought, a Borg Picard page would be cool. But then I saw the one with Worf getting his ass kicked, and I'm like, what says Star Trek The Next Generation any better than Worf getting his ass kicked?
That's true. Out of all the Star Treks, that was the one series that I followed for a while. The originals, I don't know if it was me. You know, I was born in '76. Of course, '77 was a very special year for us geeks. And that's the generation when Star Wars and that kind of technology hit.
Right.
I tried to watch the old, Captain Kirk stuff, and I'm like, eh. Now, my dad would take me to the movies. I loved the movies with Kirk and Spock and everything. But I couldn't get into the old series, and I think I was just spoiled by the special effects being, not that great.
Well, but I followed that early series when I was a kid. She grew up with 3 channels. So if it was on, I watched it. It was better than watching the news. But there were those early, that first Star Trek series was so formulaic.
Yeah.
It was, the episodes wrote themselves. They just put different colored painted people in the background.
And you never wanted to be a red shirt.
Right.
You would not.
Now, oddly enough, I grew up wanting to be Spock, and I pretty well achieved that other than the pointy ears.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as smart, but I'm pretty much, when it comes to an emotion thing, I'm pretty flat. People are like,
yeah.
Don't you feel anything? I'm like, what? What did I miss?
So you're saying you're a serial killer?
I didn't say
it. And you never will.
No. Don't you know everybody in here is innocent?
Okay, let's see. We've got Sasquatch Piper. Great video. Have a great weekend. I guess he's leaving. Thanks, Sasquatch. Appreciate it, man. I'm going to get you on here soon, too. We've got... Steph is back on. Oh, hadn't noticed the tattoos before. Can you show them to us, please? Okay, I'll do that. I'm not taking my shirt off, but I'll show the tattoos and explain them. So all of these were done. Well, we'll go over here first. This was my first. I used to be a triathlete a long time ago, about 70 pounds ago. And that's the swim, the bike, and the run, but it's kind of like a triple yin-yang. That was a $80 kitchen tattoo. And that was because you could see the color didn't take very well at all. It was bad.
I've seen a lot worse.
Yeah. This one was my first good one. It's simple. It's a 13. My lucky number's 13. And the line work is amazing. You can't really see on here. It's kind of blurry. But that was my first one done by a good professional artist. All of these is all from All or Nothing Tattoo in Atlanta, Georgia, my brother-in-law's studio. It wasn't my brother-in-law that did them. It was one of his artists. But his studio is amazing if you want good stuff done. So We'll start with, there is an old Flintlock pistol. Good,
oh yeah.
Good little work with the handle. On the stock, it says "We the People" on it.
Oh, sweet.
And then all the filigree work, kind of like on the dollar bill type stuff. And then you can kind of see, gosh, it's hard to like manage this. You can kind of see the wood grain of the dragon's body, which we'll get to the dragon here in a minute. Let's see. Okay, this, I'm gonna have to stand up. This is a Viking, and it's a Viking skull based off of Odin. You can see the horns coming up through here and here. And what's funny is people always see that and they're like, oh, is that some kind of like religious or Wiccan or pagan symbol? And I'm like, no, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, and that's Gallifreyan for time and family.
Oh, God, it is.
Yep.
Yeah, very cool.
So I had him add that on there. So that's my nerdy tattoo. And then here is some more filigree. And there's the dragon head. It's a Viking dragon. And that's the wood grain that you see wrapping everywhere. And then one of my favorite parts, you got the American flag, and then you've got the skull with the glowing blue eyes and the all-seeing eye on the top. So that is the extent of them. And that is the most shirtless you will see of me, Steph. Now, Steph, I have this question because I've seen your comments, and you and I have bantered back and forth. Out of curiosity, are you one of my friends like pranking me, or are you like a real, just viewer? Cigar smoking vets too says yin yang run.
Now that's very cool. I've been considering a tattoo. I just don't know what it'd be. I'm so serious about that I'm like, what do I want on my body for the rest of my life? So thus far, 40 years, haven't managed to pick that thing.
It took me 36 years. And I wanted one from probably junior high. I was a big metalhead. I'm still a big metalhead. But, that's kind of when I wanted an earring, when they were cool. I was a skateboard punk, all that stuff. But I was the same way. I got to college and I'm like, oh, I'm free to get one if I want. I don't know what I want. And so I'd come up with ideas and then I'd take them away. Or I see somebody else's and I'd be like, ooh, I want that, but I don't want the same thing that you have. So it was back and forth.
Barbed wire.
What's that?
No barbed wire around the ankle?
No tribals, no nothing like that. I have a lot of friends that got tribals and they regret it now.
Yeah. No tramp stamp.
So this one came because when I was doing the triathlons, I took it pretty seriously. I was the 10th ranked Clydesdale triathlete, which means anybody over 200 pounds in the Southeast region, which is Florida, Alabama, Georgia, all these. And then I just quit doing it. But it was such a big part of my life that I got that. And I knew I was like, okay, I'm good with that being there forever. The 13 was a no-brainer. My entire life, Friday the 13th have been awesome days, including this one we had a couple of weeks ago, or last week, whenever it was. And then I always wanted a sleeve, like a full sleeve. This isn't complete yet. There's still a lot I got to do. I'm going to get like this sculpture right here kind of thing. And then they've got to do a lot of filler work, and then they have to make the stuff that's kind of blended pop more. So there's a lot of finishing you got to do. I've already about 35 hours into it. So I probably got maybe 20 more hours, if that.
That's craziness.
Yeah. So these came because about 4 years ago, my last name is Stout, and my father and I have always kind of just said, okay, we're Scotch-Irish. Stout makes sense. Guinness Stout, that's just the Scotch-Irishy name. He did some research through Ancestry.com and found where a lot of it came from England. There may have been some German lineage, but there was nothing concrete. Well, then, of course, now Ancestry and 23andMe do the DNA test, and they can tell you your entire lineage. So, well, it wasn't 4 years ago. It's probably, maybe it was 4 years ago. So anyways, I did the Ancestry one. And the majority of our lineage comes from that Norse, Norway, Iceland, Viking area. Well, when we found that out, I'm like, well, it makes sense. I'm 6'7", huge and hairy. okay, the Viking makes more sense than a Scotch Irish. So, ended up researching that a little bit more, and come to find out the majority of the stouts from Scotland came from when Sigurd the Stout. He was a Viking that conquered northern Scotland.
Okay.
So that kind of came from that, and I'm like, oh, a lot of stuff makes sense now. And so that's why I started going with the Viking theme, and then of course some of the American patriotic stuff. And I wanted to throw my nerdiness in there, put the little hidden Doctor Who thing, only for people that know what it is, because most people are like, oh, what is that?
The Viking dragon thing fits very well with the motif for today.
Mm-hmm.
That's rock.
Exactly.
Cool.
Exactly. Let's see. Scott Monroe says, hi, guys. Scotland checking in. Holy cow. We're just talking about Scotland, and there's a guy from Scotland checking in. That's awesome.
I got a glass of scotch, so we are rocking the international.
Wait a minute. Before we can go farther with this live smoke, is it single malt? Please say it's single malt.
No.
No, you got blended?
I'll say it's single malt, but it's not.
There. Good job. Good job.
I got single malt. I got some John Barr downstairs, but no.
Nice.
Just needed something to sip on during this, so not going to blow out the good stuff.
Yeah, my favorite is, I'm torn because I've had one glass of Macallan 25 year.
Oh wow! Yeah,
and it was like you take that first sip and it's like, oh wow, I gotta be slow with this stuff. But I like Macallan, but Balvenie is another one that I absolutely love, and it's really, really good single malt.
Well, as it gets colder, I will have to, December, January-ish, dump the $80 in a bottle of Lagavulin.
A bottle of what?
Lagavulin.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Only in the winter months because it's so heavy, so smoky that it burns all the way down. I love it. But gotta wait till the weather's right.
Yeah, I'm just doing the black coffee thing. I was gonna put a little whiskey in there because I like taking. Have you ever had Jameson's Cask Masters?
I actually have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really good. It gives it a kind of not caramely, but a molassesy taste because they age it in Guinness casks. Ooh. And so I usually add that to my coffee if I make a coffee drink. But I went to grab the bottle and it was really light, and I'm like, oh god, it's empty. It's like, no.
You aren't supposed to keep those empties around, man. You got to get rid of that. Put a shop.
Makes me think my dogs are stealing it or something. Because my wife doesn't. She does not like it at all. Scott Monroe this is the Scotland guy. He is telling you can't go wrong with Lagavulin. It's always cold here in Scotland, so I drink it all year round. Wow, that's cool.
There you go. And I've had a Macallan 15. I've never had the 25, but I am a huge fan of Macallan.
Well, we were in Vegas. And it was for SHOT Show, which is the firearms industry's big convention. It's huge. It's actually the biggest convention that Vegas has every year. And so all of the industry people were there, and we're all at this bar downstairs in one of the hotels. And I see it on the counter, and I asked him, I was like, how much is one glass? And he was like, $48. I said, for one glass? He said, yeah. And so I had a couple of drinks of other stuff, and I kept looking at that bottle. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm never going to get another chance to try it if I don't do it now. Give me one. And I paid the $48, and oh my God, I sipped that thing for like 3 hours. It was amazing. It was the smoothest. There was zero bite, absolutely no bite to it.
Yeah. Well, you just need a little liquid courage.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're getting some listings of what everybody's smoking right now. Chris Brunton's smoking Dunhill White Spot Pipe. Early in the morning pipe in it, and he's drinking single malt whiskey. Waves of Java is smoking Sleepy Hollow. What? No Java?
Java?
Jeez, in my Viking axe pipe. Now that sounds cool. David Bowie knife. Waves of Java says it is a David Bowie knife. I saw it on Wheel of Fortune.
That's good.
See you, Vets. Appreciate you coming, man. He's saying bye. I don't think, have I said what I'm smoking?
No, you didn't. I was going to ask you.
I'm actually smoking an accident that happened that was delicious. All right, so I've got a little piece of paper that I'll put everything on before I pack it into the pipe, right? Because for some reason I don't do well grabbing it out of the tins or whatever. But I had left some Java on the paper, the of course namesake of Waves of Java, and I didn't realize what it was because it kind of looks like my Esoterica Pembroke. And so I was going to smoke some Pembroke, put it on there, blended it all together, lit it up, and I'm like, wow, this is good Pembroke. But it's kind of all of a sudden got this like caramelly coffee taste to it. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then I looked, and over on the side was my bag of Java, and had it tilted over and kind of dumped a little bit in there. But it was actually quite delicious. So I mixed a little bit. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. So it's like a pinch, like a little pinch of the Java with a full bowl of Pembroke.
Yeah.
But there's something about that coffee taste mixed with the Latakia and the smokiness that it was really, really good. So
yeah, they call that a garnish in the culinary world.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and it's out of my Morgan Bones poker, which is coloring awesome.
Yeah.
When I first got it, it was like tan.
This is my Bones custom that I painted up with the world map on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's colored up nicely too. But yeah, I got to tell you though, this was my other thing. This was I watched. Do you remember Maximum Overdrive?
I do. And here's the weird thing about that movie and you saying that. Because you mentioned it to me on the message the other day. When I was a kid and I saw that, I laughed at it. It didn't scare me for crap. I'm like,
oh no.
I was like, this is dumb. When I watched it, I guess it was about 7 or 8 years ago as an adult. First, I don't know if it was like, because I was more aware of different, like deeper thinking things or what. It was scary as shit.
We're approaching that robots taking over the world, threshold. So it becomes self-driving cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're headed that direction. But it just kills me because I've never read a Stephen King book, so that's my fault. But I've seen a ton of his movies, and could this guy just not write endings?
I had a horror and literature class, and I always have to emphasize horror because when I say it fast, it sounds like I'm saying whores in literature. But yeah, in my last year in college, I had to get one more English credit, and I saw this horror and literature, and it was one of my favorite classes of all of college. We started with Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Then we went to Salem's Lot by Stephen King, which is a million times better book than it was a movie, or not movie, but miniseries. And then we read Fight Club, which I saw the movie before I even knew it was a book, and the book is outstanding. Oh, even knowing the ending, this book is still amazing. It's really weird. And then the rest of the semester, all we read was 3 more Stephen King books. And I'd never, like you, I'd never read one. I'd watched all the movies, but God, it was unreal. Oh, we got more. Love those guitars in the background. You play bass too. Bass is my primary. I suck at it, but I suck worse at guitar. But I love guitars. Like there's a Gibson Explorer. We got a BC Rich Mockingbird. That's a Kirk Hammett special LTD. Kirk Hammett, lead guitarist for Metallica. You can't see him over here, but I got a Les Paul there. It's not a real, it's an Epiphone. It's not a Gibson. I wish it was a Gibson. I got a Dean bass, and then I've got a, why am I blanking? Ibanez SR 400 bass, and then my new baby that I got the other night from Sam Ashe. Is that Warwick 4-string bass, and that was the result of the last video I did and all that stuff. So let's see, we got AC/DC did the soundtrack, right?
Yes.
The soundtrack to Maximum Overdrive.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's if for no other reason, people need to watch it for having AC/DC integrated into all of the bad storylines around this movie.
Mm-hmm. And just amazing acting by Sheen's little brother. Or big brother. Is he older or younger?
I think he's younger. But
okay.
yeah, end credits roll to Who Made Who.
Yes. That's awesome.
Yeah, but
Eric Pick says the ATM called me an asshole.
Yeah. Well, that's, it would be a great movie to remake because we have integrated so much with electronic devices now. At the time, like the gas pumps, in the movie were all analog. Most of the cars were still analog. That's why some of the cars didn't act up and some did. And it's like, now everything's electronic. We couldn't get to our house without getting butchered.
And that's the thing. I don't want to sound like a prepper, conspiracy theorist, crazy person. But I mean, if an EMP hit anywhere in the world, we're all screwed because all of our cars are based off computers now. And unless you've got like an old 1960s muscle car or truck or something, you're not getting anywhere.
I don't know. I got an '88 Cavalier Z24 convertible that's pretty much runs on the old parts.
You know how weird that is? Do you know what my car that I begged my parents for all through high school was?
Cavalier Z24?
Z24 Cavalier. Every time we would pass one on the road, I go, Mom, Dad, Z24 Cavalier, Z24 Cavalier.
You know what? They look pretty badass, but they have no balls.
Yeah. Well, back then, to us, it was, they had them.
Well, it was a car.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead, I had a '77 Grand Prix.
Nice. Well, see, you wouldn't have to worry with either one of those because wouldn't it look like '89 when all the cars pretty much had computers put in them or something like that?
You bet. The stereo's digital, but it's still an analog mount. So
yeah,
there's no computerized parts that I'm aware of inside an '88 Z24.
As long as you can pick up the signal that tells you the chair is against the wall.
Oh no.
If anybody gets that reference, I'll send you a bag of tobacco somewhere.
The wall. All right.
The chair is against the wall. Let's see. We've got Waves of Java is chiming in with Steph. Badass Viking, you must work out.
Now, just to make sure I'm on target, that's from Red Dawn, right?
Yes. Nailed it. Yep.
Yes, Russians and parachutes and Cubans.
Absolutely. And then the remake where they were scared to talk about the Russians, so they're like, let's make them Chinese.
Right. Yeah, we got to be PC about this. But another Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen flick.
Oh yeah, it is. See, there's a tie-in to everything. It's the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
6 Degrees of Emilio Estevez.
There we go. We started a new trend.
6 lines of cocaine.
Let's see. Bearded, just to say the video feed isn't working on your channel. Oh, is it not? Oh, it'll only be on this channel because I'm the one hosting the feed. So I can give him the link and he can post it over there. But while it's live, you'll only be able to see it on this channel.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but I did an event.
Okay, gotcha.
Page, but I tried to point everybody, over to
over here. Gotcha.
Yeah, when we're all done, I'm going to download. I can pull it right off your page. You don't have to give me a link.
Okay, cool. That'll work.
I'll download it and I'll upload it on my site too.
Absolutely. Let's see. Yardism's on here. What's up, man? He says, what did I miss? You have missed a lot. I almost got shirtless, but I didn't.
Fortunately, yeah.
Yardism had a 74 Grand Prix 8-track. Oh, 8-track in it. I missed the 8-tracks. In fact, I just bought a turntable the other day because I've still got a bunch of albums. I don't think they're up here. I got a bunch of Beatles albums, a couple of Metallica albums, a lot of my parents' old stuff from back in the hippie days that I still enjoy. Steph said, actually, Steph, that's interesting that you say that. Because I've got a video in the queue that I need to edit up that is about this. She says, how come this man has white teeth if he smokes a pipe? They're so white and perfect. Okay, they're not perfect. But she says gosh again. She cleans it up and says gosh.
We call that digital video editing.
Yes, the video is about me using Photoshop. No, I've got a system to the white teeth thing, and I'm going to talk about it in the video because people have asked that before. How do I smoke a pipe and have white teeth? And the main reason is because my parents paid a shitload of money for braces, and I feel bad if I just let them go to crap as I get older. Waves of Java, do you get jealous when I say he's a hottie? Best of all, he sure is, but I do think you're hot as well. Did you see him showing his tattoos? They're lovely. Waves of Java then says, not jealous, and thank you. I did. You smoke a pipe and cigars? This is awesome. We don't even... Bearded Bristol and I are just going to sit here and watch Waves of Java and Steph go back and forth now. Scott Monroe, he says, "Ah, cool. Just wanted to say that just in case. I am here, Waves." Scott from his land. Right on. Okay, now we can talk more sci-fi. I got to make sure I mention people. Are you frozen? Uh-oh. Did we lose Bearded Bristol? If you can hear me, Bearded Bristol, just pop back on with the link. Wow, I'm by myself and I'm scared. This is like a sci-fi horror movie in and of itself. I'm not sure what to do. Either that or he's a really good actor and he's just sitting there frozen. There he is. My internet gets wonky every day around this time. So he's not a good actor. He's not sitting there frozen. But that could have been a good theme. Let's see. Who else we have on here? Yardism. You still on here, man? Zeke's chat, Steph Hawking, Wave Java. But yeah, we both got into the sci-fi stuff, and we chatted back and forth on that. It's funny that he has that Walking Dead poster, because once the Walking Dead starts back, I'm going to do kind of the reviews I did with Game of Thrones before I got pissed off that somebody reported me for pornography for a Game of Thrones review. Come on, man. Or girl or woman or whoever reported me, they're wrong. I've still got the final season finale one that I did, but I haven't edited it and uploaded it, but I'll definitely do it soon. Some of the other stuff I got, like the teeth one, I'm going to have that one coming soon. John and I, my buddy John Hickok 45 son, are going to do a really cool little music thing coming soon. It is going to be, I don't want to say too much because it's kind of going to be a surprise, but it's going to be a dual channel between his channel and my channel, and it's going to be a series kind of going through the whole thing. Let's see. Somebody else said something. I put a comment on Bristol's channel. Thanks, Wave Java. Appreciate it. So seeing so many video no tattoos on the chest or back. Oh, no, I don't have any tattoos on the chest or back. I have plans for ones on the chest once I get this finished. I want to get my sleeve completely finished. It's going to go down to about right there, and it's going to be full all the way. But no tattoos on the chest or back yet. I will. I'm going to. You lost me. Hey, Bearded Bristol, let me know if I need to email you the link again, if that's the issue or something. Just mention it on here. I have been seeing so many videos that I'm considering smoking a pipe as you do. Yeah, Steph, I don't know if you smoke cigarettes or any nicotine at all, or even if you don't. It's a cool hobby. It's very enjoyable. The video, the nice music, I like it. It's enjoyable, and I don't know if you saw the video of whether or not you can quit smoking cigarettes by smoking a pipe. I just had a question. to the viewers to see if they had before. And some people said, nah, I don't think I can. But then I started getting a lot of private messages, and there's a few posts on that video where people actually have started, I mean, they have quit cigarettes by switching to a pipe. And like I said before, I quit dipping to switch. I mean, quit dipping by switching to a pipe. And it worked. I have not had a single dip since I switched this back in, I guess it was April, May, something like that. But the only thing is, when you talk a lot, they kind of go out. Dead air. Radio bad, no. Dead air. I was sitting there lighting, and it was just real quiet. Put a comments on Bristol. I don't want to make videos waves of Java. I want to see his videos, a little bit sexier ones. Oh, I don't know if I could pull off the sexy videos. I just don't know if I could do it. Very interesting suggestion, though. But, so yeah, there's a lot of different things that are coming, and there's a lot of ideas running through my head trying to talk, because I'm hoping Bearded Bristol tries to get back on. Like I said, Bearded Bristol, let me see if I can send you another link real quick. Let's see. Share via email. All right, Steph, I got a question for you. If I send you this link to come on the Hangout, would you come on so we could see who you are? I'm still not sure if like you're a friend of mine that's punking me or something. Bearded Bristol. All right, I'm sending you the link again. All right, has been sent. Because if you'll show up on here on video, I'll do it. Yes, I am quite tall. I am 6'7". My Longhorns did get beat earlier before the video started. I was so excited because they were tied up. Actually, they were ahead at one point over the 10th ranked team. But now they didn't win. Let's see. I think he's trying to get back on because his old link that was on this with me is not there anymore. But question for anybody that's watching now, what is your favorite sci-fi horror movie? It says call has ended. Hang on. Let me try this again. Did you get the new link? I'll send you another link. This is hilarious. People getting to see a live look at technology screwing up. All right, hang on. Coming right there, Bearded Bristol. Compose. Bearded Bristol. Copy, paste. Send. Close. All right. Let's see if that works. Horror, Shining. Yes. The original or the remake? That's the big question. Because the original with Jack Nicholson was outstanding and creepy. And creepy to this day. Even with today's standards of movies, it's still creepy. Not like all the horror movies nowadays, they all try to make you like jump. It's all jump scares. And yeah, they can scare you, but I want to be like leaving the theater disturbed. And that was one of those movies that like I left disturbed. I was freaked out by that movie. Yeah, he says the original. I agree. Blade Runner original. Have you seen the new one, or is it even out yet? I'm trying to figure out through the previews if it is a remake or if it's a sequel. But like, so is Harrison Ford going to play another character, or is he playing himself in a sequel to Blade Runner? So that's one thing I'm curious about with Blade Runner. But it should be good. That was one that another one that as a kid when I watched it, I was like, this wasn't that great. But as I watched it, as I got older, it was really, really good. And I've watched it a few times. It is a sequel. Awesome. That makes it even better because I did not want to see it be a remake. Scott Monroe, I'm a big fan of the Expanse books by James S.A. Corey. Just watching the TV series. What is Expanse? And what channel is the TV series on? I'll have to check that out. If it's horror or sci-fi, either way. Damn, still telling me the call has ended. Good times. Oh, man. Crap. I wonder if I can... Even with the new link that I just emailed like a couple minutes ago. Let me see if I can... If it says FaceTime Logitech voice. Hang on one second, people. I'm going to make this happen. You know, I wonder if it's because I had if I had a time on the, here we go, edit video maybe. No, I can't get it on there. Well, crud. Oh, waiting for the invite to come through. It should be coming to your email. Let me send it one more time. Copy. Let's go here. Welcome to the video of Zeke emailing, where Zeke emails for half the video.
Yeah, he says the original. I agree.
Hearing an echo.
Hey.
You're back. Sweet.
I'm trying. Oh my goodness. Oh shit. Where'd you go?
I still have your audio, but it's a picture of you looking very debonair in suspenders. So.
Yeah, we want to get rid of that.
And do you have a bow tie too?
I do.
Sweet. Do you tie it yourself?
That was a Kentucky Derby party.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I usually when I go to these big events, I'll wear a bow tie there. So it's
okay. I think I'm back.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah. Now I got to tell you real quick, since you were fighting there with the dead air, every day between say 3 and 3:30, internet just gets wonky, just flakes out on me, and I'm like, what the hell? So as soon as it started to blink out on me, I started looking at the clock. I'm going, oh, you're doing it again. This is very Stephen King-esque, by the way.
It is a little creepy.
I come back on and said, here's Johnny.
That would have been awesome. I probably would have hung up immediately. There's a few movies that have done that to me that like left a lingering disturbance, and that was one of them. The other one that scared the crap out of me the first time I watched it, but then when it came out on DVD, I was like, why was I so scared of this? Was the Ring remake, not the Japanese original, but the remake they did in America.
Oh, really?
Oh my God. The first time I watched that, I was freaked the hell out for like a week or two. And then it came out on DVD not long after that, and I bought it just because it was so freaky. And I was like, wait a minute, was I drunk or something? I couldn't figure it out.
Well, it's just the experience of the big screen. I mean, that's the value of still going to movies. But
yes,
you know, I'm too tight, so I generally wait for them on DVD, and then I look at them too. I'm like, well, what's the big deal about this?
Yeah. And one thing that really I used to go by a lot, but I don't anymore at all because there's so many movies that I've watched lately, especially that like Rotten Tomatoes or any other critics have just bashed the crap out of, and it's been amazing. It's been awesome. So like usually now when I see Rotten Tomatoes have less than 20%, I'm like, oh, it's probably pretty good, and I'll watch it. Because it's like nowadays with the internet and everything, everybody is a critic, and they want to bash the crap out of anything if it's not artistic enough.
Yes.
There are movies that I think, yeah, they have artistic value and they're great and they're deep and you make you think. But then there's movies that are just for the fun of it. So chill the hell out.
Right. Well, and those, movies that make you think, like Pee-wee's Big Top.
Yes, that was a very deep movie. One of the most important movies in my childhood life. Did you see the new one that they made?
No.
Okay, now it wasn't a horror movie, but it was kind of scary because he still looks exactly the same.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think it was it was like a made for Netflix movie or something like that. But it came on and he's walking down the street and you're like, dude, have you been frozen for the last 20 years? Because you look exactly the same, and it's kind of creepy because you were creepy back then.
Yeah, especially after getting caught in a theater, doing your thing.
Yes, exactly. And talk about creepy stuff from our childhood. My wife and like I said, I love metal, and we were listening to Korn today in the truck. Yeah. And there is a song called Mr. Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
And we started talking about the old Mr. Rogers show, and then it hit me. The freaking mailman was named Mr. McFeely.
Yeah.
Well, how creepy is that? Mr. McFeely.
Yeah. And the nicest people on the planet. Like, there's nothing weird about that.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Come on, Mr. McFeely.
What is it everybody says about serial killers when they get caught? He was such a nice guy.
Well, we need to call Mr. Johnson and see if he can join the conversation.
Mr. McFeely likes Mr. Johnson. Oh, let's see. Bow ties are lost on me. Yardism, I was the same way, and I did it the first time as almost like a joke. I went to this event with it. But there's like this art to tying them, and it's really a pain in the ass until you can figure it out. And once you get it, it's kind of cool. And then it kind of gives you this sense of pride that, yeah, I tied this bow tie myself.
Well, and so all night that night at this Kentucky Derby party, they're like, so is that like a clip-on?
Uh-huh.
No, I tie that. You can tie a bow tie? I'm like, yeah, you may be rich, but I can tie a damn bow tie, so suck it.
Yeah, exactly. And yardism, bow ties go awesome with beards, and you've got an awesome beard, so it would like be right there with you.
Right.
John Parson asks, Zeke, do you think Seven is a horror film? It is. I think it would go down more as a thriller horror.
I would suspense thriller.
Yeah. It's definitely falls into that disturbing category. That was one of those, the what's in the box scene, for an hour you just kind of sat in the theater like, I'm not leaving. I'm good right here. There's a Disney movie next, right? So I don't feel so bad.
They're going to watch Lion King where the dad dies.
Who kicked off this trend of pipe smokers having huge beards? When I see the one smoking a pipe but no beard at all, I don't even consider seeing them. That's awesome.
We are...
Oh, Yardism said they're not lost on him like he doesn't like them. He says they're lost like hidden behind a foot-long beard. That's awesome.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yep.
You
there
do
you go. The pipe smokers with huge beards. You know what? I don't know what the connection is there. With me, the beard thing is, if I showed you, actually, I don't even think I have it anywhere. If I showed you a picture of me without a beard, you would think I was a 12-year-old giant. I look like, yes, I look like that meme that you see of the big burly badass shaving his beard, and then when he's done shaving, he looks like a little baby. That's me.
Yeah.
So that's why I have a beard. Also, as I had it, I think my testosterone level went up. I felt more manly. I was able to chop down a tree quicker. What's that?
Started wearing flannel.
Yes, started wearing flannel. And of course, I started enjoying telling all my shaving friends, I understand that a beard would not complement the feminine look you're looking for, so continue shaving.
Yeah, those jokes are abundant. They're so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this summer, I was volunteering at our city festival. I was walking down the street, and these two bald guys, friends of mine, are standing there. They're like, God, when are you going to shave that beard? Aren't you hot in the summer? And I was like, when are you going to grow some hair on the top of your head? Like, stop being a jerk about this. It's my thing. Leave it alone.
The thing I hate the worst about the beard, I can people pointing it out, saying stuff, I can deal with all that. It's the ones when people say, "Oh, you got a beard? Well, that's trendy." That it's like this is what happens naturally when you don't shave. How is something that happens on its own trendy?
Yeah. You want trendy? I'll show you pictures of me when I was 23.
Yes, exactly.
I was grown back then.
Beards are not trendy. Beards are natural things that happen on men's and some women side of the face.
Yeah. Do you go back to the beard club?
How old are you? You look young. Oh, that's nice. You're talking about Bristol, right?
Excuse me.
I actually, you know what? How old do you think I look? I want to feel good about myself because I don't feel young at all. I've got a video coming on beard shaming. Yes, thank you, Yardism. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it. You will never see me shaved from here on out. I did it once when I had the Talking Lead show. Me and my co-host, we both had beards. He usually kept it like 5 o'clock shadow looking. And I'm like, I'll shave it. I shaved my beard. And you would have thought I burned a baby on YouTube. People were like, no, don't shave. Don't ever shave again. And I was like, Jesus. And when I went back and watched those videos, I was like, oh, yeah, I look a little odd.
Yeah. And it's same with me. That's why I feel fairly confident with the whole Bearded Bristol thing being my channel name, since I've had one since I was like 23, either beard or goatee. Yeah. But at the same time, I can always be that kind of hipster, ironic, cool if I do shave it. Be like, oh no, that's just a thing I do.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. It's trendy. Steph has guessed. Waves of Java, shut up. He said 55. I'm not 55. Steph says under 40. Thank you. I am 41. So
okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So we're right about the same age. Makes sense why we like the same kind of sci-fi, which I want to ask you about one once I get through all these little comments. He's not 55. Waves of Java 62. No, I'm not 62. I feel 62 when I wake up in the morning, but that's okay.
Yeah, right.
Gosh, you are jealous indeed. He must be around 34. Yeah, I was kidding about the 41. I'm 34. She nailed it. Exactly right, Steph. You're my favorite viewer.
She's been angling for that the whole time.
Yes, exactly. So, Sci-Fi.
Yes, sir.
One of my favorite sci-fi shows of all time that I wish to God they would get over their corporate egos and bring back is Firefly. Are you a Firefly guy?
Marginally. I love it, but I don't. For some reason, I didn't go over the deep end with so many other fans that were like, "Oh, we need more of this." When it ended for me, I was just like, "Okay, I'm on to something else."
Yeah.
It didn't. I'm not into it that way, but yeah, I enjoyed the show. And I love Serenity. I think that's a fun movie.
Yeah. Serenity was good too. Yeah, it was one of those shows where it took me a few episodes to get into it, but I had a cousin that was one of those fans, and he was like, you got to check it out. You got to watch it. And so I pushed through about 3 or 4 episodes, and by then I was hooked. I was just like, oh, yeah, this is awesome. And I thought...
Episodes?
Yeah. And it is over. And I'm like, okay, that sucks. Thought there was going to be a lot more going on with this, but I guess not.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I probably need to be kind of wrapping this up, but I wanted to, I think you kind of told people what you've got coming up, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Go for it.
My network was blinking in and out, so I could only hear the, come on, man. But, yeah, I'm actually working on one now that I think you'll get into. 10 things about life that I learned from the movie Clerks.
Oh, yes. That is going to be awesome.
That is, I've been cutting clips for it. I just haven't had a chance. I've got like 7 of them together. I haven't gotten that whole thing done, but that one should be a ton of fun.
When you do that, I'm gonna VR you with 10 things I've learned from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Fair enough. Not the least of which is if you're dope smoking grunge guys, you can still make a living.
Yes, exactly. I love Kevin Smith though. I wish to God. Have you seen that documentary about the Superman movie that they killed?
No, I haven't.
It's really good. I think it's What Killed Superman Returns or something like that. Basically, the studio hired Kevin Smith to write it, which would have been amazing because Kevin Smith is like the ultimate comic book geek fan.
Yeah.
And they hired him to write it, but then they took it away from him and gave it to Tim Burton. And then they hired Nicolas Cage to be Superman. And they made him a long-haired Superman with a shiny velvet uniform.
Oh boy.
But the documentary is awesome. It's just like blasts them. All right, Scott, you gotta go too. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
This is gonna sound bad, but I actually don't mind Nicolas Cage as an actor. But you talk about, like, you would have to put him into like a velvet, funky, tight suit to give him any kind of personality.
Yes.
Otherwise, we're just back to Raising Arizona.
Oh, Raising Arizona was such a good movie. Well, you got a panty on your head. It's one of my favorite lines ever.
It's just terrible accents and just generally uninspired acting, but it's made him
all right, 6 Degrees of Emilio Estevez with that movie. The church my parents took me to in high school, one of the members of the church was Tex Cobb.
Really?
The motorcycle thug from that movie.
Yeah.
And don't think when I saw him walk into church the first time, I was like, like, oh my God.
Church piercing. Jesus.
Yes, exactly.
Watch your mouth. Yeah. But yeah, I'm so into doing this Clerks thing. I watched this. I haven't seen it for probably 15 years. And you remember being a classic when we were college age.
Oh, yeah.
And, you get to the very end of that movie, and here's Kevin Smith just, you never hear him talk through the whole movie. And it's like, a million beautiful women in this world. Not all of them bring you lasagna at work. And it was like the only truly honest, genuine, poignant movie or moment in the entire movie. And it just drops out of nowhere. And you're like, oh my God, there's a plot.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. That movie was very similar to Pulp Fiction when it comes to like my movie watching. And I'll admit, Pulp Fiction is one of my favorite movies of all time, but I'm going to admit it because it was so new and so revolutionary in the way writing went. The first time I went to see it in the theaters when all the hype was out there, I walked out 20 minutes into it.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, because I was like, this makes no sense. I don't understand this. And so I get back. I was a freshman in college, and I get back, and I'm telling my buddies, and they're like, you didn't watch the whole thing? I was like, no, man, it didn't. Like, there was no timeline. What is it? And they're like, dude, you're an idiot. You have to go back and watch it. And I'm like, but I couldn't follow it. And they're like, you have to go back and watch the whole thing. So I was like, okay. I went back the next day and I watched the entire thing and I left going, I am an idiot. That was the greatest movie I'd ever seen.
I will tell you, the only movie I ever walked out on was Mystery Men.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't see it in the theater, so maybe I would have then.
And, I will freely admit I was in a rotten mood when I went to it, but it was not living up to expectations. Then the film broke.
Oh.
And okay, that's it. I'm out of here. And I walked out. I was done. And years later, I saw it on DVD. And I was like, oh my God, this is hysterical.
Oh, yeah.
So much fun.
See, I liked Mystery Men the first time I saw it because it was on DVD. And I may have been chemically altered at the time. We'll just say that. And this was This was 20 years ago, so you know.
Uh-huh.
Don't say like anything current. Although, oh, I forgot. There's another video. I mentioned it in the last live chat, and then we'll wrap after this. Where I talked about I'm going to start buying some of those pipes that are tobacco pipes, and seeing how tobacco actually smokes through them. And what I'm talking about is bongs. The one I just did a video on, I don't know what I did with that pipe. There it is. I just did this video. I will say it smokes fairly good. The water, let me do the air quotes again, tobacco pipes will take the bite out of something, a tobacco that's kind of bitey. So it's interesting. One last question, then we'll kind of wrap. And it's Steph. She gets the last question. Who introduced you the first pipe, and how old were you? It's something we get fond of easily. My first introduction was my grandfather. Like a lot of people, a lot of the YTPC, they say the same thing. I remember my grandfather smoking them. The first time I actually smoked a pipe was I was probably 21 years old, and I tried, and it didn't work out. I got the tongue bite, but nobody was guiding me and telling me the different tips. We didn't really have YouTube back then. And then my first pipe that I actually got and really got into it was back in March or April of this year. And the smell is nice. I know you asked earlier, she had asked, is there a way to get rid of the pipe smoke smell? Some of the smoke is not that bad. What's that?
You don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, some of the pipe tobacco, the smoke is not that bad. I mean, my wife, there's certain ones she doesn't like me smoking in my office in here, but she doesn't mind some of the other ones, like the Waves of Java, or that's Greg's name, Java from Mission Pipe Company. It smells like a coffee barista is living in my office, so it's not bad. But yeah, there's some fondness. The history is another thing that helps you grow fond of it. This one is a new one, but it's my own personal history. But I've got this old Peterson Hound of the Baskervilles, Sherlock Holmes, and I got it from Belgium off of eBay. So it's kind of cool to think, where the heck, who smoked this? Where was it smoked? That my Dunhill, the one Dunhill I have, it was dated to, it was either 1925 to 1936. So this is a World War II and Depression era pipe, and it came from France, I believe. I think I got this out of France in an auction. And just to think what discussions were had over this pipe, you know, was it during the war? Was it some general? Was it some family that had a tough time during the Depression? You know, what decisions were made over this thing that far ago? So the history kind of is there for me. What about you? When was your first pipe, and how old were you?
Well, you know, kind of like you as far as, well, not like you at all, but as far as introductions go, my dad actually had a buddy that smoked a pipe. And, you know, who knows what, Prince Albert or something, but, you know, I smell, you remember that even from your childhood days. But of course, my dad's friend was named Red, because everybody named Red.
Yeah.
But so that was kind of my childhood experience. Nobody in my family that I'm aware of ever smoked a pipe. But I just, you know, kind of on a whim, about 2 years, almost 2.5 years ago, just bought one at Walgreens. Like, I've never tried this, you know, and I've never gotten into cigar smoking. It's always made me nauseous. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to try this just for fun. And just really kind of picked up on it right away. And, you know, watch some YouTube videos so you don't have those issues with the like you ran into in your early 20s.
Yeah.
I just watched some experiential videos and found a couple of tobaccos that I liked, and I've been doing it ever since. So, you know, it's a pretty simple story.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I can't wait for the Clark's video, and I will keep watching. And everybody, thank you for watching. It's been fun. Good input, good questions. Get out there and watch some good sci-fi and horror flicks. And make sure to follow your dreams, like Freddie always says. And
that is the best.
but we will have another one of these. I've got one planned with Ronan Piper and John Hickok. We're going to talk about how music nowadays is dead. And we hope that it's coming back. Well, that's what our hope is. So
it means we're getting old, right?
Exactly. Because it's the same thing my parents used to tell me.
These kids need.
All right, man. Appreciate you coming on. Thanks, everybody.
You bet. We'll talk to you later.
See ya.